Oh, did you see that? I'm in a
This
very
isn't just
bad
my
echo.
adventure, Lunar. It's ours. It's so beautiful.
You have to be reasonable. The Dragon Master causing problems must be an imposter.
Watch this.
Mega Magic Flame!
Take note. Oh, yeah. Mia! I'm sorry I can't keep this still. And that's what it did the other night, too. It just stops. So I've been hearing about this for some months, since about last year. And I knew it was coming. They were just saying spring. Let's see here. So this is in the store, in the shop. And so, you can add it to your wish list, um, et cetera, et cetera. So it's here. From what I understand, it's going to be $50. Let's just flip this around. Okay, so $50 for the online digital copy, and I hear a physical copy could be available for most of the new systems, except maybe one, through Amazon only. So there's that, and I did a screenshot what looked like the Xbox version on Amazon, and I'm like, they all say, I think, currently unavailable, and I think that's just because the pre-orders aren't up yet, and it's going to be $5 more, around $54.95, $55, like $5 more than the digital, which is fine, as long as my wife lets me do it. We'll see, but I'm just really excited because, and I've got some Christmas money left over that I may have to get this, because I'm a big Lunar fan, and because it's the remastering collection or whatever, and it's got the two games on it. So Magic School Lunar is not here. I really wish they would have put in the Sega CD versions. Because the Sega CD versions they're a different animal. Yeah, maybe leave in the updated. Well, I guess no. Some things would have to be changed because the story, especially for Silver Star, is not identical to Silver Star Story Complete. It's not, because in the new one, and they made a big deal about it when the Japanese were bringing it out on the Sega Saturn, and I guess the PlayStation 1, way back when, before Working Designs ported it over. The original story, Luna stays behind in Berg. Okay? And so when you get to that point, I'm not really spoiling much of the story here. If you've never heard or played this game before and you like JRPGs, you're gonna enjoy Lunar. Chrono Trigger, yeah, is good. Chrono Cross, etc., or Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 212, whatever Final Fantasy games. And I'm not dissing those. I have a fondness for some of the Final Fantasy games, especially the earlier ones. But getting back to Lunar, you're gonna enjoy Lunar. You are gonna enjoy these games if you like the style, if you like the age, if you like the look. You're gonna like these characters. Some people are concerned about the voice acting because they didn't get the original voice actors. What we just heard from the trailer, I don't have a problem with it. When did I say take note? When we heard, is her name Lemia? I'm trying to remember in Lunar 2 or Lunar Eternal Blue. That was the original title in the Sega CD. It wasn't 2, it was Lunar Eternal Blue. I think it was Lemia. Every time they did anything, Victor Ireland wanted to make. I don't think this was a Japanese translation. Everything was mega, mega this, mega that, mega this. So hearing her say her magic spell and saying mega flame burn 'em or whatever she said. Well, burn 'em. That was Lena. No, Fina. Fina and Lean are the sisters in Grandia. Oh, I just spoiled that. Sorry. But yeah, not Fina. It's Fina, but spelled Fina. Get it right, gung ho, and everybody else. But oh well. Because that's even how they pronounced it in the Japanese. Her name was Fina, and it's not spelled with 2 E's. Anyway, that's not how I spelled it. And long story short, let me concentrate on LunAr. I apologize. I'm going too long on this. I'm just excited. And I've known about this coming. I did not know there was a trailer on YouTube for the PS4 and 5 versions from 4 months ago. And I'm like, dude, what? I just found that now trying to find the trailer to send to my cousin. We were both big LunAr fans. I let him borrow the Sega CD just to play the first 2. And then it came out on the PlayStation 1 when Working Designs was putting out all these great games out, whether it was Popful Mail was great. I'd love to see Popful Mail again. Oh goodness, what else all did they do? They did more than just LunAr, but that's what they're really known for. And they didn't do a lot of extras with pre-orders with the original games on this Sega CD. What they did do was they did about 6 or 7 different CD artwork. Okay, and my cousin made a big push to try to get all 7 of the different CDs, and I'm like, dude, that's a little overkill. But I did get one of them, or 2. I got 2 different ones, and I think I sold one. And I sold my original. Here's the picture, and I got my medicine hidden behind Shining Force 3 here. You can see what I did to the Saturn thing. I tore it up because all those big Sega boxes were big. They were clunky. They took up too much space, and I assimilated them. Prepare to be assimilated, and so that's what I would do. And I bought tons of blank CD cases from the stores, from Walmart, Kmart, wherever, and cut up the front part of the box and put it in here, and well, and you know, I tried to make it like it was an actual way to do it, and I mean, I did the whole shebang. So you know, you open, yeah, a little dusty. You know, you open it up, you have part of it, there's the game, etc., etc. I could sell this on eBay, even butchered like this, and get over $100, $200 for this alone right now. Insane. So, don't fall. Oh, just put it sideways. So there's that. But I think you're going to really like LunAr if you've never heard of these games before. Yeah, they're antiquated, they're story driven, they're plot driven, with really good anime characters that, yeah, kind of where the tropes come from, but it's just so fun. I really doubt they'll leave the pop culture references in there that Victor Ireland and his team did, going as far back as the Sega CD. We'll see, probably not. Just some funny stuff. They even alluded to Bill Clinton in one of the, I want to say it was the first LunAr game. Just some funny stuff. I'll miss the pop culture references, and it didn't completely take you out of the game. It was just for a laugh. There was a Friends reference in one of the guidebooks, and it was a shot of one of the characters. I think it was in the LunAr 2 guidebook. And they were all looking at something with a shocked face, and they added some verbiage on the bottom, something about the ugly naked guy. you know, and it was a friend's reference to the ugly naked guy who lived across from him before Ross moved in the apartment. Yes, I remember that. Anyway, and I wasn't a big Friends fan, but anyway, I'm excited. If you can't already tell, and I want to give a thanks to David Vic JRPG, his channel, and I just saw his video. He was talking about this for about 10 minutes as well, and he showed in the images, some of the new poster work and artwork that is going to come out for the physical copies, and you can swap them, turn them around, and they just look great. So sorry, dude, I screenshotted the images, and so I'm giving you the credit, even though they're not really yours, but I'm excited too. We're all excited. So yeah, if you're over 40, 50 years old and you remember this stuff, there's a reason to be excited over the LunAr games. They're old, they're good. I like some of the options they're giving us, because when Gung Ho, and I have the Grandia collection on the Switch. It's almost tempting to get it on the Xbox also, but I mean, I went when people were flocking to the PS1 for Final Fantasy VII. I didn't like the grittiness. There was language in it. I didn't care for some of the language. Some of it, now I don't know if I'm remembering it wrongly, but there's some still language in it, but sometimes it looks like they put in Qbert stuff for some words that, you know, when Barrett is cursing, I don't know. But I was big into the Import Saturn. And I imported all sorts of stuff. And I heard about Grandia. Game Fan did a bit on Grandia, and I'm just like, I gotta get that. That looks so good. And it was supposedly who was it? Wasn't work. Oh gosh, the name of the company just escaped me. Studio Alex. Is it Studio Alex that did LunAr Eternal Blue? May have. Oh gosh, not Studio Alex. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the company. And they that did LunAr, they did Grandia also, and Grandia 2 on the Dreamcast, I think. I can't believe I've forgotten the name of that company. That's going to bother me for the rest of the day. But the thing is that when Grandia came out, I got it on the Saturn. I ended up getting the LunAr Silver Star on the Saturn, but not the complete. That's a really interesting version. And I actually ended up liking it a little better than the PlayStation 1 Americanized version by Working Designs, which is still just awesome. But here I am trying to play Grandia on the Import Saturn, completely in Japanese. And there was this one guy, which I think it's still out there on GameFAQs, that this guy did a complete almost translation of it and guide on what to do and what to go and who is who. And I still think it's Palm and New Palm as kind of a joke on New Palm, you know, not Parn or whatever, Palm, because you start in Palm, Palm, because I learned some katakana and the romanized versions of it, and for the most part, the simplistic katakana, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly, are basic letters in their language written, because they have three different alphabets. So does in Japan, if I understand correctly. I've never had a class. I can't teach this stuff, but to where I could at least know whose names. And then one thing you don't get in the Americanized version is there's a secret connection between Null and Luna. The Japanese may have picked up on this first, before us and having to understand it through the plot. Why? Because in the Japanese, Luna is the Lu and the Na, and then for Null, it's backwards. It's the exact same symbols, Na, Lu, which is Null. Okay? So they're the same symbols, just backwards, which means those two characters were connected, and they are. Okay, and there's a reason for that, and you learn that. We even learned that in the Sega CD version. But the lore, the history of the world is different from the Sega CD version, from the PS1 version. It's different. It's richer. You go around on the working designs, oh my gosh. And Victor Island had some stories back then, and they had the workingdesigns.com, their old website, and the W8DMB. I was on the website. My cousin was on the website. He went through 2 different usernames because they had a weird upgrade on their server and lost some stuff, and they came back. And I mean, this was like 1998, 99, a long time ago, dude, guys. So I really think you're going to enjoy the game. I hope my excitement is infectious. At least I'm not talking politics and sticking my shoe in my mouth. But this is exciting. And it's going to be full screen, HD, remastered. It looks great. Not everything written is in all caps. And there's a story behind that too. Because that was the text, and it was easier to do it in all caps, I think, on the Sega CD. But at the same time, when you programmed and you were on a basic computer, which is the background of C++ programming here, guys. Everything, when you typed, everything was in capital letters. In order for the programs to work, for your if-then statements and go-to statements and all that mess, everything had to be in all caps. So that's probably just, also what they did. It was just easier to, boom, it's all caps. There it is. We're not, and it may have just looked better considering the, maybe the compression rate and how the Sega CD performed. I don't know. But I'm sure there were other little factors why they went into all the text on the Sega CD versions being all caps. It didn't bother me because, again, I was used, we had an Atari 400. My brother got that for Christmas, and then he got rid of it, and we got the Atari 1300 EXXE, something like that. He had it all at one point, and we didn't have a lot of money. The first computer was a Christmas gift from my parents to my brother, and then he was working at a pizza joint, Godfather's, which is kind of defunct. Now there might be one in Gulf Shores, I think. I don't know. But because I'm in Alabama, and he had a printer. He had a floppy drive. He had the cassette drive. If there was something, and he was learning to program, he would make games. I would try to test them and play them. And he had the system actually trying to do voice to some regard, because we had stuff like the video on MTV from Dire Straits was very inspiring to a lot of kids, like my brother, and getting computers to do voice was not easy. Working with those very, very basic sound chips, and he was almost able to do it. And my brother was amazing. I don't know what happened to me, but my brother was amazing. He still is. That looks like an Oriole. Cool. So I better call it quits. I got to get back to work or go to lunch or something. But I'm excited. I'm just really excited as an old LunAr fan. And I just want to say thanks if you check to hear me rant, and not rant, but just talk about nothing, talk about LunAr and the history of it all. And I would love to see Gung Ho really bring back the Sega CD versions, because you really are traveling. You're not just going from one point for a battle area to another point of a battle area to another little point of a battle. I mean, you were on the world, and you had the random battle counters, random battle encounters. You didn't have the little thingy, so if you saw the enemy, you could try to run away from them to avoid the battle. There was none of that. It was like Final Fantasy style random battle counters, and I missed that. I thought that was really cool. Just like oh golly, this goes back like 2001, 2002. Who was that guy? And he got in trouble from Squaresoft or Squeenix or whatever. Squeenix. He did these Final Fantasy characters, and he was using the pixelated 8-bit look, and it was a cartoon with Fighter and Black Mage and other characters would show up, and it was these two characters, and they looked right out of the 8-bit NES game, and at that time, which would have been maybe 18 years later, and he had this comic going. And my cousin and I, he worked at one place, I worked somewhere else. We keep up with each other, but we, still work. Our positions have changed. Things are different, 20 years later, 25 years later. But we were, communicating about email. Oh, did you read the comic today? Yeah, I saw it. It was hilarious. Blah, 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 Hadouken or whatever. When Black Mage did his thing and it completely annihilates a whole little city or town or village or whatever, and it was just the name of the comic almost popped in my head. If somebody knows what I'm talking about and you've gotten this far in this ridiculous video of me just babbling about nothing, let me know what the name of that comic was. That website that. I think it's still out there, but I think he had to hand draw it. I think he got in trouble for using the actual images from the game by Square, which is just silly. All this copyright infringement is just kind of silly, and who knows? I might get hit for recording a trailer off of TV or flat screen or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited, especially when I heard Lemina yell mega. I'm like, yes, they kept that in there. Even if the voice acting is going to be a little different, it's still probably going to should be pretty on par. It's got anything is better than the voice acting from Siege and Kingdom Transformer shows off Netflix. Anything's got to be better than that. So let me know down below what your anticipations of these remasters and what you think. Have you played the Sega CD games? Do you know about them? Do you know the story? What are other... If they do more, if they say Gung Ho brings out an official Magic School Lunar maybe, or the older Sega CD games, what would you like to see in them? This has got me excited, especially because we are seeing a lot of retro gaming come back. And the only way you can download, as far as I know, Virtual Racing, the arcade version, is on the Switch. I think it's Switch only, but don't quote me on that. Because I can't download it on my Xbox. And I love me some Virtual Racing. And listening to Damn Yankees along. Somehow, Damn Yankees and Virtual Racing just go very well together. I don't know. It was the 90s. But it worked. And I was playing it on the 32X, by the way. That was really fun. Oh my gosh. The 32X did have some good games on it. Despite people in the magazines saying that it's a doorstop. I'm enjoying it for what it is. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me blab for over 20 minutes. I got to get to work. And as always looking for the Dragon Master. with the green eyes. Check your toe jam.